midday sun is leaning low, and the city finds its voice. Every story starts to flow, every heart gets a choice. From the corners to the main street line, every whisper turns to sound. There's a space and there's a time for your truth to come around. No matter where you're standing, no matter who you are, your voice can cross the distance, it can travel near and far. This is your clarion call. Let it rise, let it fall. Every word, every view, there's a place here for you. From the silence, break away. Let your voice lead the way. Hear it echo through it all. This is your clarion call. Different minds and different dreams, all are welcome on the line. Every shade and in between, every truth we redefine. You can laugh, you can debate, you can question what you see. It's a moment to create what a shared world could be. No need for hesitation, just pick up and be heard. In every conversation, there's power in a word. This is your clarion call. Let it rise, let it fall. Every word, every view, there's a place here for you. From the silence, break away. Let your voice lead the way. Hear it echo through it all. This is your clarion call. Across the airwaves, hearts align. Different rhythms, same design. In the noise, the truth appears, carried through 1,000 years. Speak your mind, don't hold it in. Every ending can begin. Turn the dial, take the chance. Join the ever-changing dance. This is your clarion call. Stand up proud, stand up tall. Every voice, loud or small, still can answer the call. Let the moment carry on. From the dusk into the dawn, hear it echo through it all. This is your clarion call. So when the afternoon is near and you got something to say, know there's someone who will hear, just a call away.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are doing well. Please like the live, share the live. If you're watching and you're unable to participate in the comments section, more than likely it's because you're not a subscriber. Please subscribe and recommend this platform with a friend, to a well-wisher, to somebody. This is your Clarion call this afternoon. We may have an extended program because I may not be available to do an evening program. So let's get as much of us as possible. As many of us as possible. Let us try and be here on Clarion Call. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? It's Labor Day. Happy holiday to everybody. I did a little raking. I straighten up a few things in the room and so on. But I know that there are bigger projects happening right across the country. Several constituencies are taking the opportunity to spruce up the place. Is that the terminology? Sprucing up the place because today is Labor Day. Well, I want persons to understand that today being Labor Day is not preventing a lot of persons from voicing their concerns. As a matter of fact, I understand that there was a protest, or there is still a protest in Granville. Anybody hear about that? Getting to understand that there was a protest in Granville. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot go back to the normal same old. Now is the time for us to be speaking up and to speak out. Blessings, Winsome Graham, Carol Banton. Let me know where you're viewing from, ladies and gentlemen, as we kick off our Clarion call. Feel free to call me at 1-876-562-8302 and let us have those important conversations. Blessings, Joy Martin, Danette. Blessings. Donna Williams, and just to everybody else who is joining us this afternoon. Probably a lot of persons are out sprucing up the place. Falmouth, somebody say I labor at home. That's very good, Carl. Laboring at home. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Blessings, man. Like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. Sonia Newman, blessings to you. Come on in, let me know where you're viewing from. Mountain View, blessings to you all. Just come on over on Clarion call. Bay Road, Westmoreland, Montchenil, East Portland. Who else? Blessings, Pauline. Blessings. Kingston. Blessings, man. Big up Kingston every time. Blessings. What you say, former MP in Silo putting on roof? Silo St. Elizabeth, blessings. Watching from New York City. Blessings. I am redeemed, we can only pray. But it seems as if bloodshed under this administration, it can only get worse, ladies and gentlemen. We're praying though for something else. New Jersey, Southfield, St. Elizabeth, and everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. You know, I want us to have a serious conversation this afternoon. Donna Thompson, blessings. I want to remind you of what is really happening in this country. I want us to have a very serious conversation regarding the atrocities that we are facing. Well, we're starting to get some calls. Hold on. Go ahead, caller. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Perry. Perry, you know my Labor Day 33 years ago, you know what I was doing?
What were you doing?
That's when I got married.
That's when you got married?
Yes, it actually fell on a Labor Day, but yesterday was the actual date.
Okay.
And it was my brother's birthday as well.
Okay, well, happy birthday and again celebrating the anniversary and so on.
Yeah, man,
to celebrate.
So, yeah, man, thanks.
Yeah, man, bless you. That's such an interesting thing. But, you know, we have to we have to pray. We really and truly have to pray, ladies and gentlemen. We have to. West Portland, Yvette Wilson, blessings. Listen, we're gonna replay what the International Human Rights Group is saying regarding the fatal shooting in St. James, and we want to hear again from the tourism minister about his perspective of Jamaica being a safe place.
The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights says it is deeply concerned about the death of Latoya Bulgin, the woman who was shot by the police in Granville St. James last week. Ms. Bulgin was part of a group protesting the fatal police shooting of a 17-year-old boy on Mother's Day. In a statement on social media site X, the Commission said it takes note of the officer's interdiction as well as the investigation underway and urges a prompt, independent, impartial and transparent inquiry. It adds that states must protect and facilitate the right to peaceful protest and stressed that any use of force by law enforcement must be strictly necessary, proportionate and aimed at safeguarding the right to life and personal integrity. Now, the shooting has left many Jamaicans outraged about the police's use of force and the need for body-worn cameras to provide independent data on these types of incidents.
Good day to you, Gloria Swaby. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Phyllis Brown, good afternoon. Remember to like up the live, subscribe if you're watching, so that you can participate in the comments. The international human rights groups, ladies and gentlemen, they're all aware of what is happening. The beauty about social media is that nothing is really and truly in secret. It's not like years ago where social media wasn't a thing and a lot of these things would happen without anybody knowing about it. In the year 2026, hardly anything can be hidden from the public. Florida, blessings to you, Basil Hall. You cannot truly hide certain things from people anymore. With the click of a button, one bit of information can go viral, very viral. And the truth is, Ian Nathan, Kingston 20 blessings, the truth is, what happened in Granville St. James was not only unfortunate, but it has further damaged the already damaged international image that Jamaica has. And all of this damage, it is happening under the Andrew Holness led administration. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, we've never seen such an uptick in police brutality than what we are experiencing under the Andrew Holness administration. Donna, we're going to get to the Nikisha Burchell saga really and truly, and it is now a saga because the JLP, they are clutching at straws and they think that they have a story to tell and a story to pout about regarding Nikisha Burchell and her sentiments regarding the Speaker of the House. So we're going to have a longer Clarion call today. Still, feel free to call in at 1-876-562-8302 because this evening I should be at an event. So we're going to hear from Edmund Bartlett again, trying to do what is called damage control. Trying to communicate to the world that Jamaica is safe.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett is this evening assuring visitors that Jamaica remains a safe destination. His comment follows the fatal police shooting at the Sangster International Airport involving an American citizen Friday morning. During a visit of the airport on Saturday, Mr. Bartlett stressed the importance of destination assurance to the sector.
The Ministry of Tourism is very concerned about the safety of our visitors, and we want to make it very clear to the world that when you come to Jamaica, you will be safe.
The tourism minister said safety systems are crucial in protecting Jamaica's tourism destination. He added that the cost of enabling those systems can sometimes be lethal.
That if someone made a mistake and drifted to the wrong places, and then because of either not being in full control of their faculties or something, the risk of them just doing the wrong thing and causing a massive disruption at our airports or anywhere is too great. And so I think the security forces are alerted to act. And when they act, we need to recognize their action for the critical value that it presents.
So we recognize, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Dave Wedderburn, tell him to like up the live, especially seeing that Clarion Call may be the only show for today. Given my possible engagements later on, I may just tell my viewers to tune into Clarion Call because we're going to have a full show here. Now, I really want to address the very serious conversation that we are having regarding the safety of Jamaica. Feel free to call me, ladies and gentlemen, at 1-876-562-8302. Now, the Jamaica Labour Party's political machinery is trying to create a narrative that what is happening in Jamaica today regarding the extrajudicial killings is just police officers doing their job, and there is absolutely nothing for us to be afraid of. And they're trying to communicate to the international community that Jamaica is safe. But the news is saying otherwise. And I want to, Carol Banton, make it very clear to my viewers, to the international communities and the human rights groups who are watching the bloggers and the advocates, because we need to understand how important platforms like The Perspective, how important these platforms are. We don't expect the government, the ministers, the Prime Minister and others to come out and say it as it is. We expect them to come out and to try and brand their administration as the best thing since sliced bread. I've already communicated to The Perspective that the script given to the propagandists of the Jamaica Labour Party is that the Andrew Holness administration is the best thing since sliced bread. And for some reason, this is the Prime Minister that is going to bring Jamaica into this never-ending prosperity, and that he is chosen by God. That is what I've heard from even some of these so-called prophets during the election last year. I wonder what these prophets are saying today. Winifred Saunders, blessings to you and everybody else who is just joining. I wonder what these prophets are saying today when they recognize the wealth of corruption that is coming from this government. Not only that, but the divisive communication, the questionable communication that we've heard from the Prime Minister's mouth. Meet your judge or meet your maker, which was a green light pun intended, it was a green light given to the Jamaica Constabulary Force to exert excessive lethal force. Many of the times, the lethal force that we've seen was uncalled for. Granville St. James being one of our most recent examples. There was absolutely no need for lethal force in that situation. Last night we dived into the sentiments of the Commissioner of Police and him trying to justify what happened in Granville St. James indirectly, making excuses. Yes, Dr. Kevin Blake, we know that police officers are human beings too. That is the reason why we want them to operate like human beings too. Because as a human being, you are expected to have emotional intelligence. Am I not speaking the truth here, ladies and gentlemen? Am I not being fair? As human beings, today on Clarion called The Perspective, we expect police officers to operate like human beings. And a human being would understand that a woman who is not armed, nor is she dangerous, didn't have to succumb to the unfortunate running that we saw between Latoya Bulgin and the police officer who was interdicted. Now everybody is running around and trying to do damage control. All of a sudden, the Prime Minister received emails and many messages encouraging him to come out and address what happened in Granville St. James. Laborites like the elder in Rhoda Crawford's constituency warned the Prime Minister that he would never see another successful election if he did not fix what is happening in this country regarding the police brutality. And I'm getting to understand, Carol, that there is another video. If there is another video, somebody share it with me. My WhatsApp is the same number here that you call. But for me, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister, he has lost significant political leverage in Jamaica, and his reputation, whatever is left of it, it has been significantly damaged. And what he's trying to do will be proven futile. Let us take some more calls. Go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon, Brother Perry.
Good afternoon.
How you do today?
Well, I'm good, man. You alright?
Yes, man, I'm alright.
Awesome.
Thank God. Yes, I'm listening to you out here. And two things you just mentioned. And I want to just say something in regards to that.
Yes.
The people are saying that the Prime Minister was sent by God. And if he was sent by God for the people, why is the people suffering so much? When God sends someone to help another person, them don't go through all of this crisis. Them send for help.
Oh my God. Yes, that's true.
They're not sent to suffer you to make you suffer. Only the devil in hell put on separation on people.
Yes.
And put you through hell So if the Prime Minister was sent to help the people shouldn't have to be crying out for help. So still.
It's so true.
You understand? You understand what I'm saying, brother?
Yes.
Brother Perry? Sometimes people will say, "Well, how you get there?" Because the Spirit leads you to some things, and you go deep. There's so much things, and then you said again, people they're inviting the people to come to Jamaica, and say it's safe and it's this, and so many people dying. But I must say to you and all the other platform that is letting the people know that it is not safe like it used to be. You get off the plane and you come in from the airport and police pulling you over and you sitting in that car and you feel so scared because you don't know what they're going to do to the driver. And you can drive from Montego Bay to come to wherever you're going, and you just have to sit on the wheel side and hoping somebody will come get you.
True.
That is a scary feeling. And I'm a born Jamaican that know these things. And can you imagine a tourist come to Jamaica? I know they're going to get the whatever to bring them to the hotel. But it is a scary feeling to know that you come into your own country and you don't know if you're safe.
My God, it's so sad.
It is a sad story. I used to love to come home, and when I get off at the airport, I'm so excited to get into my vehicle and go stop on the wheel side and get something to eat. But now it's like, I don't even feel like doing that anymore. It is really sad. But I'm thanking you guys. Thank you guys for opening our eyes. Because if you walk into this blind, you will be scared more.
Yes, so true. So true.
So it's good to listen to these, to you and all the others who share these things, that we can know what we are coming into and if we want to come into it.
My God.
You see, so they can stay there and talk what they want to talk, but life is very precious, and when you see danger, Brother Perry, you gonna walk into danger?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, you're gonna stay away from danger because you guys live there, so you have to live with it. But for us to live out in the diaspora and to come in and to be afraid to hide in, and we can't go to the market like we used to. People are going in market and killing up people. That's something you know, right? Now what kind of God sent this? This is not a God sent. This is a devil from the pit of hell.
My God.
The devil from the pit of hell. Brother Perry, let me tell you something. You see that mess business?
Yes.
The Lord showed me something, and I tell you, my brother, that mess need to go. It needs to go. In whatever way, but it has to get out of that place. It is a devil in hell in there.
No.
So, Brother Perry, I just want to let, I'm usually not a person who talk politics and stuff. I mostly talk about the church. And that's why you see when I come on, I have to give something about God.
Of course.
You understand? Because God is in control, and no matter who thinks that I'm big and bad, they have to come out one of these times. They've got to go. God said go. That's right. So, Brother Perry, carry on. Thank you for opening up our eyes, and so we can know what is going on.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. Bless you.
God bless you too. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, they are trying to... If the Prime Minister was sent by God, the only way I could look at him being sent by God is to beat Jamaica for a backslidden state. The only way the Prime Minister is sent by God is to flog Jamaica through the corrupt Andrew Wallace administration, to bring us to our knees so that we can repent. Because clearly, what is happening, ladies and gentlemen, cannot be of God, unless the Lord is trying to bring Jamaica into repentance. This is the protest that I saw today in Granville, St. James.
No justice, no peace. Justice shall be served. No justice, no peace. Justice for all. Justice for KJ. Police brutality. Stop the police brutality. Stop the police brutality. Stop police brutality. We want justice. We want justice for Buju. Buju died brutally in the Granville Square where we stand today. Right in front of me.
Yes. Right over there, sir. Right over there. And the two we are protesting, we're going to deal with them. No justice, no peace, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pretty sure there are more persons living in Granville than that. I want to say something. I want to say something. Jamaica will have a very hard time seeing some change in this country. Because the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, it is we the people that will have to rise up and impact our nation. It is good to pray and to ask the Lord to move on our behalf. But we are the hands and the feet of Christ. We are the body. So if we're asking for change, if the people in Granville, if they call a protest, we expect more persons to come out. Georgia Lynch, it is true, a lot of them are afraid. Because a part of the conversation that we are not having is that Latoya Bulgin was allegedly a witness to the killing of the 17-year-old. I'm also getting to understand that she was related to the 17-year-old too. And that she was heading to a particular location with others to protest as well. So it would seem as if there is an agenda to silence those who are coming out to protest against injustice, against corruption, against police brutality, against the lack of due process. Because one could argue that the only way we can see some amount of attention being given to our cries as a nation is if we block road. Remember, there was a meeting with the superintendent in St. James who basically communicated to the people of Granville that there will be no candle lighting for Latoya Bulgin if they continue to block the road. So the people who were expecting to come out and protest is as if they can't come out and protest. Why? Because they are fearful, ladies and gentlemen, that the same thing that reached Latoya Bulgin would be their fate. So one could definitely look at the JCF as a body that is driving fear into Jamaican people, discouraging them from coming out to protest, a peaceful protest, you know. Nobody want to come out and talk up and protest because apparently the police officers can now unalive people if they have a voice. But what would Nanny of the Maroons do? I'm going to take my time this afternoon. Let us reason together, ladies and gentlemen. Call me at 1-876-562-8302. This is your Clarion call for those who are just joining. Like up the live, subscribe, and share the platform with a friend. What would Nanny of the Maroons do? What would Sam Sharp do? What would George William Gordon do? What would Marcus Garvey do? Listen, there comes a time, ladies and gentlemen. There comes a time when we'll have to just do what is right, stand for what is right, and whatever the consequences are, we deal with it. I understand, easier said than done. But ladies and gentlemen, it is discouraging for me. I don't live in St. James. To get to St. James, it will take me a couple hours well. But if I am looking on and I don't see Granville community flooding the streets of Granville, if I don't see St. James coming out in their numbers, putting fear aside, it is unreasonable, ladies and gentlemen, for people to expect the entire Jamaica to be outraged and to also join them in protests. I'm just going to talk it as it is. Something that was caught on CCTV footage, clear as day, it was murder, ladies and gentlemen. The woman was murdered, thrown in the back of a police jeep, like a dead dog that is to be burnt with tires. We saw the inhumanity. We saw the desecration of our streets and the indictment upon a country that professes Christ. And you would think that this was the year that broke the camel's back. To hell, glorious way be with what the police say, telling them not to block any road. That is even the more reason for them to block the road, because they're trying to silence the families who are grieving for this unjust murder of Latoya Bulgin. If Nanish, Samsha, Paul Bogle listen to these frivolous rules and policies coming from their slave masters and those who oppressed them from colonial times, we wouldn't have been here today. We wouldn't have this freedom of speech to be on Clarion call this afternoon. But when I look in Granville, 5, 10 people, 15 people, I would want to go up there, Georgia Lynch, and join them. Go live on YouTube, go live on TikTok, and to help them spread the word that we need justice. But if we have to sacrifice the candle lighting for now, so be it. But we have to keep blocking road and keep coming out and keep crying out until somebody intervene. Are we going to allow fear to cripple us? Bible says, fear not, for I am with thee. I told my parents, if I have to go on the road, I am going to go on, of course not carelessly, not unnecessarily, but I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not saying anything bad. I am advocating for what is, if I was doing something bad, ladies and gentlemen, that is a different story. But what I do here on a regular is for the betterment of Jamaican people. So I'm not going to allow fear to keep me in the four walls of my home. And I have business to do, I have places to go, and I have people to see. We need to push past this fear and be willing to stand up for something. I know the family wouldn't want to have a candle lighting, but let me say this to the family of Latoya Bulgin. Don't allow that to deter you. We are getting the international attention now. The international human rights groups, they have made a note of what is happening. Come out of your homes, Granville. Take this very seriously. Come out of your homes. We already have the bloggers behind you, 100%. We may not be there with you physically, but daily thousands of people are hearing our voices. I made a video on TikTok, nearly 200,000 views, about the Latoya situation. We are doing our part on our platforms. You have to do your part on the ground in these communities. It cannot be that there is a protest about this situation and only 10 people show up. And his candle lighting is going to prevent you people from coming out. The entire St. James should be blocking the road. The entire St. James should be uneasy. The entire St. James and Granville, Yvonne Riley, should have flooded the streets even today on Labor Day. Worse is a holiday. People not an excuse. No work, none keep. Come out of your homes. Get involved on the ground. Do your peaceful protest. Everybody have a TikTok account. Go live on TikTok. Make a video. Tag the international news outlets. Tag the MPs. And let the people of Jamaica see that you're not serious. And that is my perspective, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't buy the, listen to me, man. You have to push past fear. Push past that. Unless nothing will change. We are in desperate times, ladies and gentlemen.
And the Prime Minister is pushing back against growing criticism over the slow rollout of body-worn cameras, even as disturbing footage of a police fatal shooting in St. James fuels public outrage. Sandy Williams reports.
It is the policy of the government to fully deploy camera systems for the police force.
A firm declaration from Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, but one that lands in the middle of a storm sparked by the fatal shooting of Latoya Bulgin, caught not on a police body cam, but on a nearby CCTV camera. The images, now widely circulated, show a police officer standing in front of Bulgin's vehicle before firing a shot through the windshield, hitting her. It's the kind of footage that raises more than eyebrows. It also raises questions about force, judgment, and why the police officer wasn't wearing a camera of his own.
We have about a deployment, and we have another 1,000 in procurement, and we are working on another 1,000 to come.
3,000 cameras in the pipeline, but over several years. Dr. Holness says the delay isn't denial, it's logistics, from broadband infrastructure to data storage and officer training. He insists the system must be built before the cameras can be worn.
We simply don't have the resources to do it all at once. And even if we got all the cameras all at once, they couldn't be deployed all at once because the training to use them, and then all the backup services, and then the broadband and connectivity that is required for upload and safekeeping in order that the images that are captured are evidentiary. So there is an entire suite of activities that have to be in place before body-worn cameras become universally systemized within the JCF.
Still, critics argue while the system builds, trust breaks, because without cameras, every incident risks becoming a case of citizens' word against the badge. Dr. Holness says the end goal, though, is to have every officer and every interaction recorded.
It will become now that every policeman has a weapon assigned to them, or every policeman who is deployed to interact with the public will have a camera assigned to them.
But even that promise comes with caveats. Chest-mounted cameras won't work in every scenario, especially high-risk tactical operations. Alternative designs like helmet cams are being explored. The government says full rollout is 2 to 3 years away. Sandy Williams.
Rubbish. 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 Mr. Prime Minister. Listen, the cry of the people to have body-worn cameras being deployed in the JCF is not a new conversation. To make it seem as if this is a new conversation is misleading. For years, the human rights groups, the advocates, international community, people locally, and we have been asking for the full rollout of body-worn cameras in the JCF for many years, Mr. Holness. If you had an interest in ensuring that the JCF and the Commissioner of Police have a proper rollout of body-worn cameras and the data space and the data infrastructure and all of these things, it would have been done a long time ago. We're in 2026. Don't make it seem as if we need 10 years to have every police officer wearing body-worn cameras. It is happening in other places. But because it doesn't serve the interest of a lot of your corrupt friends in the force, nobody wants to roll out the body-worn cameras in a proper way. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When you recognize that something is not prevalent, it does not benefit the rich and powerful. On the opposite, when something is happening, and it is happening a lot, people are benefiting from it. So because to have body-worn cameras being worn by these corrupt police officers, a lot of them friends with politicians, a lot of them doing the biddings of politicians, assassination by politicians, to have them wearing the body-worn cameras, it won't benefit them. I get in some call. Hold on. Go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, turn me down, mute me on the other device.
No, I'm outside and I'm on the veranda.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
Yeah. This premise that what you were just showing out, I believe people are stupid. I live in Canada, in America. It don't take no time to put on the camera on the police. It don't take much time. You think people are stupid, right? That's the way you think. You think people are stupid. What you said is totally stupidness. About 2 to 3 years, it's crazy. He's agreeing. The thing about he's supporting these police that is going around and murdering people. Right? That's what it is. Do you remember when Siak was in power, he had a police force. I forgot the name. I forgot. Right? Until it all I forgot the name of the squad. Right? Right? Siak was bringing that squad just go around and keep people, and when people get up and start them, I think he get rid of it. Right? I forgot about them call it squad. Right? So what this premise that I can take you for stupid little idiot, right? And let me tell you something, God ain't sleeping. God look upon him. God is looking down on him. And his day gonna come.
Yes.
Because Mama, you know, where the word of God saying, the sins of the father and mother be the third and fourth generation. Right? And because him have kids.
Oh, I wonder. They're asking if it is the Eradication Squad. That's the name of the squad?
I get the Eradication Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Eradication. That name say and this man bring back the same squad. It's the same thing. He's carrying back. Is that every police is like that, you know? Because you have good, decent police. Right?
Yes, of course.
You have good, decent police. Right? But when right, people started demonstrate and the foreigners and everybody come in and start to talk about it, see how get rid of them. Right? So when this one, me see a guy come on the news that he said that the Prime Minister must take this thing in hand because he's not gonna win, because when Siaga me I tell the violence that go on in 1982 there. It comes from Siaga. My son, you may not know, right? But Siaga tell Michael Manley say him have man like rice grain. Right? I don't know if you ever hear people talk about it.
Yes.
He said to Michael Manley, he have men like rice grain. Right? So I know me was something know a lot.
Yes.
Right? I know. That's why the other day I am praying and I'm asking God to let Paul Buchanan win him case. I'm praying and me get him numbers, you don't have to worry.
Yes, right. Yes, because I didn't have
I got his number. He man is nice guy, man. When I was in Jamaica that day, he and his lawyer and his wife and a friend of mine who was a friend of mine was a teacher and my wife. We all went to New Kingston and have dinner there. So it's my good friend, I know him. I know the lawyer. Let me tell you something. Although the lawyer is a Labourite, Mr. Tim said, man, how you talk? Take over from this demon Prime Minister, no, please. If you ever sit down and hear that lawyer, he said no, he can't support this government. He cannot support the lawyer. He said he cannot support him. He cannot support him, but guy ain't good. If a lawyer send something like a top of the lawyer, right? He said can't, and the guy is a Labourite. So Paul Buchanan, I'm praying that Paul Buchanan win, because he said if he don't, he's gonna go to the Privy Council. And I mean, they don't want this case to go to the Privy Council because they're gonna be ashamed.
Okay. Oh.
They don't want it to go to Privy Council because these judges in Jamaica, they're gonna be ashamed. So you look, if it don't go Paul Buchanan way, it's gonna go to the Privy Council. It's gonna go, and because of the man, these lawyers, these judges, they don't want to get them out shame. They're gonna be shame, right? And man, you just keep on praying for Paul Buchanan because he's gonna win him case. The premise is so wicked, right? Paul Buchanan, even a heart is a shame. That guy have a heart for people is a shame. The man is next to Michael Manley. Me I tell you. The man is next to Michael Manley. And this man got to about this demon Prime Minister got to talk about housing. Michael Manley bringing housing just to help the poor people. How can you have a place where the most people that chew housing trust is poor people who are with a minimum salary. So therefore you must have more ways for them to get a place. You're gonna only look out for you and your big friend them. They build an apartment in but them I forgot the word, housing trust building. Where anybody with two housing trust, small man can buy one of those apartments.
Can't buy it.
Where one of those people can buy those apartments. Then you build and say a housing trust build it. So you never build it for the poor people. You build it for you and your friends. Right? But let me tell you, God look upon him. God, like I said, the sins of the mother and father. It's in other word, God word that video the third and fourth generation.
Yes.
Right? So you say anything me do, and somebody say, boy, some me go, I'm still I'm gonna call a person. What you mean? We say, well look, if you feel away, I'm sorry. I apologize. Because I have kids and I don't want my sin to follow my kids them.
Yes. Yes.
So I apologize. If me right, they go for him. God says someday you go where you're right for peace sake.
For peace, if it is possible, live peaceably with all men.
Live,
yes,
if it is possible. And he said for peace sake, someday you have to give away your right for peace sake.
All right.
You have your man tell you God bless, and my brother, we are praying for you. And like I said to you, you're a young man, and I was planning to just give up. But when I see somebody like you in Jamaica standing up for poor people, you're the next guy on the YouTube there.
Yes.
I'm saying, man, I'm gonna try and really come and spend a good time in Jamaica before me really come back, because the medical, you're Lord of God, the medical system here is totally different. From so to that people just come maybe spend 6 months or 5 hours, because the medical system here is good, very good.
Yes.
Right? You don't come like Stephen Prime Minister in my Ministry of Health. You're gonna put up an hospital and you're gonna start at something like 3 billion and it's gonna 20 billion.
All right, Sammy, I'm going to take some other calls.
Yeah, man, people here in other country, America, and Canada, and England, I look on those things. People are stupid. So let me tell you, man, the sins of the father and mother, so don't care the money went pile up. The sins of the mother and father, video the third and fourth generation. Love you. God bless.
Bless you, bless you, bless you. Let's take some other calls, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to call at 1-876-562-8302. Go ahead, caller. Good afternoon.
Blessing, brother Perry, blessings. You see, this is the time for them to press along, because we're getting some international help right now. You see, the police is going to tell them not to because they don't want the work. But we're getting a headway. I would just tell Jamaican people, go ahead, let us go ahead and do what we have to do. Keep them on straight, because we need international help. All right, this is my few words.
Yes, man. Thank you. We need to press on. Yes. Bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, but the caller said something very important, and it goes back to the saying, history has a way of repeating itself. Who remembered when Bustamante mobilized security forces to abuse the Rastas? Who remembered that? Who remembered that, ladies and gentlemen? The Coral Gardens Massacre of 1963. It is a historical conflict between Jamaica's first Prime Minister, Sir Alexander Bustamante, and the Rastafarian community, most notably during the Coral Gardens Massacre of 1963. Acting on colonial instructions, I want persons to listen. I want to take my time this afternoon. We may not have an evening program, so feel free to like up the live and follow me, because I want to walk you through what I honestly believe as a trend that I see with the Jamaica Labour Party. I want you to listen. Just listen to my perspective on Clarion Call. Feel free to call in though. In 1963, ladies and gentlemen, there was a massacre. But the pinnacle raid of 1954, we can go back to there, and it represents a very dark chapter of Jamaican history. And a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but I believe it is an appropriate time for me to bring us back to this moment in history. It's very important for us to understand this. Acting on colonial instructions, acting on international interference, acting on colonial powers. I wonder if Mr. Holness is acting under the influence of external powers, ladies and gentlemen, to wreak havoc in our country. Because the first Prime Minister of Jamaica, Alexander Bustamante's administration, acted on colonial instructions that ordered a joint police and military raid on Pinnacle, the first independent Rasta community founded by Leonard Howell. The settlement was burned to the ground, leaving thousands homeless. Mr. Holness, under your administration, we see thousands homeless. Homeless. The founding father of the JLP, in his time, ordered a military operation to leave thousands of Rastafarians homeless. Why? Because the Rastafarian community is not like this watered down Rastafari movement that we're seeing today. Back then, ladies and gentlemen, the Rastas, they were the ones who led the advocacy on black consciousness, liberty. When you talk about hitting out against corruption, corrupt leadership, the colonial powers of the day. Remember, it is colonialism that ran the JLP. It was the colonial powers to this day that meddles and interferes with the Jamaica Labour Party. And because the black community trumpeted the notion freedom for all, and the JLP wasn't about the freedom for all, help me today, Lord God Almighty, because the Jamaica Labour Party was never built upon the notion of freedom for all, but freedom and liberty for some. The Alexander Bustamante administration had a problem with the Rastas. So what did they do? They mobilized a joint police and military raid on the place called Pinnacle, which was the first independent Rasta community founded by Leonard Howell. I'm going to take the call. Just allow me to get through these points here. Then the Coral Gardens incident of 1963. This led to the amount of fatalities and the dead or alive order by Bustamante. He said, give me them, bring in all Rastas, dead or alive. This is what Alexander Bustamante said. He flew into Montego Bay and issued the infamous directive to police and military forces. Bring in all Rastas, dead or alive. It sounds like the statement that Mr. Andrew Holness made when he said, meet your judge or meet your maker. It sounds like the statement that Mr. Holness made when he said, meet your judge or meet your maker. Bustamante said, bring in all Rastas, dead or alive. So it sounds like this is the regular modus operandi of the Jamaica Labour Party to wage war against its own people, to see to it that those who advocate for the poor and advocate for unity, freedom, it seems as if this is the playbook of the Jamaica Labour Party. Wasn't it the same playbook that Edward Siaga implemented with the eradication squad? I'm just trying to correlate, I'm trying to make the correlation, ladies and gentlemen, between the founding fathers of the Jamaica Labour Party and Eddie's boy, Andrew Holness. Security forces descended on the working class neighborhoods, the poorer people, you know. This is what the JLP administration did. They descended on the working class neighborhoods, the working class that the labor rights claim that the JLP fought for. And they raided on Rasta encampments. More than 150 Rastafarians were detained, tortured, and forcibly shorn of their dreadlocks. And an unknown number of them were killed. Today, ladies and gentlemen, the incident is widely recognized as a major human rights abuse against the Rastafari movement, against Jamaicans, and against the working class, the poorer class in this country. What is it that we're seeing today? We're seeing history repeating itself. Because today what we are seeing is the same Jamaica Labour Party under different leadership mobilizing the security forces. Meet your judge or meet your maker. We see them not wearing body-worn cameras. We see them murdering people who protest. That is what happened to Latoya Bulgin. We see them driving fear into the poorer class of this country, the same thing that Alexander Bustamante did. This is history repeating itself. The Jamaica Labour Party is simply not good for Jamaica. Go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon, Perry.
Good afternoon, bless you.
It's okay, give me 1 second. Let me turn on this TV. I don't want to disturb you.
Yes, please.
Okay, I turned it down. Okay, I am a grandmother, and I am supposed to be older than your parents are.
Yes.
Okay? And I lived as a young woman in the early 70s into the 80s when Edward George Siaga was Prime Minister. I think he became Prime Minister in 1980, something like that. Let me tell you something. I had just graduated from school and started working as a professional with the government. I won't tell you which parish I was in, but I'm just gonna say this to you.
Yes.
Jamaican, I am happy to hear you this afternoon and the people who are calling in to read out these people's numbers, because I remember just before a general election in 1980, Edward Siaga stood on a platform in Halfway Tree, and I want somebody to come out and tell me that I'm wrong, because I know I am not senile. I remember everything. He stood on the platform, and you know what was in the Star newspaper the next morning? I heard him on the radio. I had a TV at the time, I think. What Siaga said? He said, tonight, we're going to wipe with finger in a PNP blood and mark with X tomorrow. You understand? So that is where all violence in Jamaica started. This man, and I don't care who want to hate me or anything. I was thinking about him this morning, and you know what came to my thought? Look, I said, what the name I gave him again? But he left the gates of Hades and descended upon Eden.
And this is what he did to Jamaica, and Jamaica cannot recover from that, man. The gate of fear, he escaped from Hades and unleashed his wickedness upon our land, the land of paradise. That's what I said, the land of paradise.
Yes.
And we cannot come back to from then. 150 old ladies perished. I remember those days at
Eden
that golden age house. What was it name again?
What, Eventide?
Eventide home. And JLP would want to erase that history. They don't want nobody to know. They are not the best people. And let me tell you something. Mr. Prime Minister, he only came out on Friday and spoke because the American died. He did not care one hell about the young lady, the young woman who died in Montego Bay. He did not care. He does not care. And before I come off your program, I'm gonna be brief. But I heard one of his ministers, junior ministers, in there talking about Nikisha Burchell. Girl, let me tell you something. You will never dare one day walk in Nikisha Burchell's shoes. I noticed the whole you take set on her as she stand up in Parliament to say anything on a Tuesday. I'm not ready for gag her. Listen, picky head girl. You cannot walk in Nikisha Burchell's shoes, and don't tell her to honor Juliet Holness, who doesn't have any respect for her own self. If that woman had any decorum about her, do you think she would have shouted at Dr. Brownberg the other day? She shame when she come back to Parliament, she come in to read crap off a paper, girl. Let me tell you something, dry head Adassa. Leave Nikisha Burchell and Mark Golding alone. You cannot one day walk in their shoes. You're quashy, and that's why Andrew have you in his cabinet. Sorry about that, but I had to get it
off your chest. You get it.
I have to get it off my chest. This dry head Adassa, all quashy. She don't have any sense. Sit on in. All she can do is ask stupid questions in Parliament and coming to come talk about Nikisha want to speak patois, and she can. What is good patois? What is good? You speak it's our broken language, and we speak it anywhere we can. And that's not. She knows English better than you do, because you ask stupid questions in Parliament as if you're going to grade school. Your head dry like say I'm afraid of her. She told me, and I come talk about that's nasty. What's nasty? Because she stand up and say something. When Juliet Holness wants to talk about people, all right. Let me end by saying this: they have no dignity or integrity in the JLP. Listen, on Tuesday, Mr. Russell, Dr. Russell, I don't know what that kind of suit he had on was. All right. Say, for example, it's not the dress code for Parliament. He might have been somewhere and rushed to Parliament. Hello, I don't know. And I don't know what their dress code is. But the way Roy Clark addressed that man before the world, that any way to talk to somebody in front of a crowd? You could have waited until Parliament over.
Yes.
Call the man aside and said, you're going to tell him next time if you're coming back here. Don't Shirai, where you come from, you know a dress code. You look like you and him. The Minister of Local Government look like you got a thrift shop, go pick up on all broke them. You leave people alone. Uno have something there for the People's National Party, but guess what? I will never think about that party as a party, because you are all a cult. And I heard come up and hear say Bustamante say Saltfish better than education. Me not have Latin party with I don't people go over there, so cause Saltfish no better than my education.
That's right.
It is never better than my education and my children's education. Me work one. And send picking a university, 2 different universities. Me no. If they don't even want to look at me, no, I have done my best. I educate them. But guess what? Dry head Adassa, which school you go? You think you can walk in a Nikisha Burchell school in a Nikisha Burchell shoes? So Perry, all what you see going on is coming down from Edward Philip, George Siaga, and Bustamante. And this one here can take over now. And he would have put the dearest of crooks in his cabinet because they are shielding him. I don't care. He can't do me one thing. Because when you take my breath out of my body, you can't harm my soul.
That's
so
right.
Anything where you're going to do, come on. Come on, bring it on.
Bring it on, Carla. Bring it on. All right.
Because them too crooked and wicked man.
Yes.
And they want in a parliament, but doctor this and doctor that. We no go back wall, go buy PhD degree and come one Hannah. I'm not honoring neither you, Christopher Tufton, or the rest of them will buy them degree. I am not honoring none of you because you are crooked and you are dishonorable and you have no dignity. That girl died and you waited almost a week before. If somebody else never died at the airport, outside of the airport, you would not come out and say a word. And you're afraid of Jamaicans' mouth. Why you afraid of them mouth? Me hear somebody talk to them about the petitions now. Go help people who not sign the petition. We have to try something.
True.
Evil exists and continues to exist when good men sit down and do nothing.
Yes.
So let us try sign the petitions, and wherever they go. Oh, and back to the one Marshals. You can go back to England and leave Marvin alone. Leave Marvin alone because Marvin was addressing you, I guess, in the statement he made. But what you coming out with? What have you done for Jamaica from you come there? All you do, you come back to recolonize us, and you're not gonna get me on your dirty plantation. Okay? So if it's that you're helping Andrew Holness to recolonize, I'm not going to live on your plantation. You have to go get out your bayonet to done me in because I am rebellious and I'm not afraid of any crooked man. Okay, I will talk to you another time, Mr. Perry.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
You too, Carla. Thank you.
So them are fire. And if the enemy are fire, you can't stand up like stooge. You can't go on like a fool. You have to fire back. Somebody load up and say, pop, 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 pop.
Firing panel we don't want it. You know when I'm saying gonna fire with all, whatever.
She's firing on all cylinders, man.
Yes, all cylinders, yes. But you know something, Brother P? The saying you see is that one man with a backbone is worth 1,000 with a wishbone. And people, sign the petition. And if there's demonstration come already, we have to go. We have to do something. We can't sit down and say we're not enough because we are coming from. We are children from the plantocracy, from the plantation. And if ancestors they sit down and say them not do nothing, even the whip upon them back and the scars were left, Brother P. Them still try to escape. Them the underground railroad. How when them get caught, them still try again. So we have to try. But let's fast forward into the present. Bakawan, Tivoli, that was eradicated too, because it was Rastafarians that after them mashed down Pinnacle, the Rastafarians them scattered all over. Some were Warwick Hill, some they were all over trying to make different communes, and Bakawan was one of them, and it was erased, thing there to build Tivoli Gardens. You understand me?
Yes.
And the sister talk about even tied home. We live that's like in my community, but whatever. And I remember Brother P, when after the fire and you go over there and these old ladies were it's like them cook. You cook meat and it, whatever. That's how the bodies, because these were fragile old people. We just wait for God to say, all right, come home to me now.
Yes.
You understand me? And that's what happened. Come back again, there was another fire down by Orange Street, right from where the fire brigade station is. It was a tenement too. That was burned too. And you know something? The one in Orange Street is kind of murky as to who them say might do it. But they say they're most of PNP supporters that live there. But even tied, definitely, when the findings came out by the P, they say the chemical that was used to light the fire, it was not, Jamaica never have it. It was brought into the island.
Wow.
And at that time, whether them want dispute it or not, you know, the then Siaga administration, you know, may I tell us, a very, very hostile and side with the CIA against Michael Manley.
Yes.
You understand me? You know, and because Michael Manley was singing the tune of America, and he was friendly with Castro.
Yes,
you know?
Cuba.
And that was it. And the economy. I want you to look up something, brother. I'm going to tell you about it already. Check this thing. Make the economy scream. The CIA used it against Salvador Allende in Chile, and they use it against Jamaica. And even the CIA man say, for Jamaica is a smaller country than Chile. You know, the way how they pressure Jamaica and use it was Nixon and his Secretary of State Kissinger that them use. Cause you know, brother P, when people can't get food, they care them love you. Them are going to turn against you.
Yes.
And that is what happened. That is what they use against the Michael Manley administration. Food, brother P. Food. Them use food. And only for here say, when the day after when Siaga, when them win, whole heap of food were rotten because the merchant class was in with Siaga and the food, and I'm gonna tell you, brother P, food ordered up. When you want food, it married. You know,
yes.
Women, if you want flour, you have to buy flour with sanitary pad. You have to buy flour with floor polish. You know, things that you don't even need. And imagine a poor person that have kids to feed.
Yes.
And you might can't buy look at flour, look at saltfish, look at this, look at that. And you have to dip into that money and buy an item that you don't want to, you know, really need. But that was what was happening. Goods were being married to stop. You understand me? And that them do, brother P. Them could have denied $1 million, and that them do. I remember when most of the supermarkets was downtown, it's stuff. When you go, the cashiers had the rice. Again, rice is a staple for Jamaicans.
Yes.
The rice was at the cashier, and depends on what you get, 2 pound of rice. So only Sunday dear, you know, you're not able to eat like a rice and peas. So my sister used to do my shopping. She love walk up and down. She would go from the different supermarkets.
Yes.
And the people was full to spend a little here and spend a little there and spend a little over there. And brother P, them have to use them wiles in order to get a couple pounds of rice. That was the stuff that as a young mother, them time they just have this. Those were the things that we were forced to live through in the 70s. Them could have denied come on. Uptown people never feel nothing. Them could have gone to Miami go buy them food. But
Yes.
they talk from certain social demographic of people. Those are the things that we live through. So may I come off and make somebody, you know, I was just like, you know, because her sister just said a mouthful and said it all.
Yes.
But back a wall, the Rastafarians went, a bad Friday them call it, you know, bad
Yes.
brother P. Bad Friday them call it. Because it happened and they were persecuted, dreadlocks cut, beat up, dead, and that them go through with the security forces. And we are seeing that playbook come back again, brother P, where you know people are being battered and bruised, and police and sheriff did say, shoot and ask question after. So Andrew go back, go draw for the playbook of his predecessors.
Yes.
I use from us, I use from poor Jamaican people now. Shoot and ask questions after. And Buster did say, if when they don't want to go be, if
bring in the Rastas, dead or alive.
them over one cemetery or whatnot when he Boog. So Andrew draw for the playbook of his predecessors, and I use from people. So people they can't stay there. One man in a wake up and they can't come out of the house. Only hear mood music and police and soldier get Andrew has militarized the country. First thing they have some little youth where I train. By the way, brother P, one of them little youth that Andrew did a train. You know what I'm to them? You hear anything happen to them?
No.
I look a group of youth to them, so them they train a camp, you know.
No.
One to them look a youth.
Huh?
I know which part them scatter and which part them disperse in a community. Who know if I that at the squad we are going now.
I like murder people, true.
Yeah, who know. So all right, brother P, you know we shall talk again.
Yes,
all right.
man. Bless you,
Yeah.
bless you. Bring in the Rastas, dead or alive. We will wipe our fingers in the blood of the PNP and put the X beside the bell. Meet your judge or meet your maker. Wait. Horace Chang did say, stretcher art, van back or stretcher. Shoot first, ask questions later. This is what is coming from the JLP today, and it has been coming from the JLP. Let us take some more calls, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, good afternoon. So I'm calling because I did a research on Edward Siaga. So my research showed that Edward Siaga actually studied anthropology, human behavior, but on top of that, he also studied this calling of the spirit and ancestors.
Oh yes,
Kumina,
yes,
and Congo. So when you call upon the spirit, the dead, the devil, the devil don't want material things or money or earthly wealth. What the devil really need is souls. So yeah, because the things that you're gonna give the devil, he probably he have it already.
Yes.
So what the devil need is souls, and in order for them to attain this power, there have to be a lot of bloodshed and sacrifices and a lot of the things that are happening in Jamaica. Sometimes I feel when the killing happen, people are not aware of what they do until it's done. Yes, it's a lot of craziness going on. And that's, yes, so another thing I want to say is this. The People's National Party was the one who actually created, in their time, the flag and the national anthem was created. And the flag was created for the people.
Yes.
And then you have the national anthem and what it says. Andrew Holness is not living by the words of the national anthem. And his behavior is a narcissist behavior. And the reason why I'm saying that is, look, you have the National Housing Trust, and you have the National Housing Trust.
Yes.
And then in the election, PMP sing a song that says we're gonna build back what they break down. So now he built NARA. And it's national. What is NARA? National
Reconstruction and something.
Okay, so now he take the name national from the PNP, and now he said he's gonna build back Jamaica better than it was before.
Yes.
So yeah, so you see, and then he is actually what JLP they do. They like when the flag and everything was built, they actually they're the one who finish most of the hard work that the PMP does. And they get credit for it.
Yes.
And it's really sad to sit down on my TV and see people are being unalived so frequently. People are killing each other. And I just don't know what to do anymore. I'm praying and I just don't know what to do.
We keep on praying, my dear.
And I'm telling people it may not work in some cases, but when it's sad what is happening, but citizen, you have a right, and don't give away your rights when you go into the street, because you realize sometimes the policemen are telling them comply with the law because of section 15 of the law. Yeah, they're telling them the power of arrest, that they actually have the law when they're out there. I'm asking the citizen to just comply, go by the books, go get process, get your lawyer, and or see the judge, or do whatever you have to do, and try to not fight and lose your life out there, because we are living in perilous time, and the devil is out there reaping souls. So we have to be careful. You know what I mean?
Yes, we have to be careful. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Yes, bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Clarion Call, an extended program today. Please to like the live and share the platform. Please subscribe if you've not yet done so. You know, I would love to share something with you that I want us to understand. I want us to understand that history is repeating itself. I have a few things to say regarding the Juliet Cuthbert Flynn rant. I did a video, but I didn't address it on our live. I want to address something because I just honestly believe that we have a lot more pressing issues to talk about Cuthbert Flynn, and your rant could have stayed. In all honesty, your rant could have stayed. But we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I want to communicate something to you about the Jamaica Labour Party. I want to communicate something to you. You know, and I want you to listen to what I'm saying here and to listen well. And I think if we're reasonable enough, you will understand where I'm coming from as to why I cannot see how the Jamaica Labour Party is good for Jamaica. I believe that the JLP, its sole purpose is to be against the People's National Party. And you see it, even while the JLP is the government of the day, they still oppose the PNP as if it is the PNP who is in power. They fight against the ideologies of the PNP. Everything that the PNP does, they have a problem with it. And if you do research, you recognize that the sole purpose of the Jamaica Labour Party is to combat the ideologies of the PNP, because that was what the JLP was tasked to do. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. The Keep the PNP in Check mandate. Listen to this. We're talking about the colonial connections to the JLP manifest across 4 major pillars. This was the Keep the PNP in Check mandate. During the 1930s and 1940s, the British colonial government feared the rising influence of democratic socialism spearheaded by Norman Manley and the People's National Party. Are you liking up the live, ladies and gentlemen? Are you subscribing for those who are watching? If you're hearing me loud and clear, Clarion Call, let me know if you're hearing me. It is very important for us to know. If you're hearing me, tell me that you're hearing me. We're probably going to take one break. We're going to take a break and come back. I think I should take the break and come back. I want us to understand something here. I want us to understand something here this afternoon. Let us take one break. Seeing that we're having an extended program, let us take a quick break.
Breeze Petty and Hair Care Mobile Services, where we provide gel, male and kids pedicure, We also offer locks, kids, and natural hairstyling services right in the convenience of your own home. For appointments, please contact us at 1-876-507-7484. Remember, we'll take care of you, not only the crown of your head, but also the soles of your feet.
And Pearl Therapy, we are here to help you to bring ultimate relaxation to your feet. Our hot stone, Swedish, and deep tissue massage services are here to help you to get rid of tensions, minor swellings, and aches and pain, increase flexibility and circulation. If you are having any heart or circulatory diseases, then this might not be for you. Reach out to us and let's see if you can secure yourself with a foot massage for as low as $4,500. Thank you for choosing Pearl Therapy, the healing hub.
Are you frustrated with your skincare? Are you tired of acne, blemishes, scars, sagging skin, wrinkles, discoloration? Why not enjoy our wide array of products from skin, hair, and personal care? Place your frustration on our shoulders, and we will get you smiling again. The power of our products are in our formulation and ingredients. Listen to our customer testimonial. This is what she has to say.
Oh my gosh, look at my face. I've been using these products for a year, exactly 1 year. If you have not tried them, you need to try them. They really work. Look at my skin.
Visit our website or contact us at 917-557-6204. Make it Tony and Organics and order yours today.
Food is designed to be felt, not just tasted. Soft warmth, gentle richness, a harmony that melts effortlessly on the tongue. At Cummings Exquisite Caterers, every dish is an invitation, guided by passion, finished with elegance. We cater for life's most meaningful moments, elegant weddings, private celebrations, and much more. With a serene repast center just 10 minutes away from 2 major cemeteries. We are located at 38 Dublin Spanish Town Road. Reach out to us, 876-573-9124. Cummings Exquisite Caterers, where
Our first social media question tonight comes from Instagram. Shania in Kingston, she says, low voter turnout suppresses the effectiveness of a democratic society. Many Jamaicans refuse to vote because they believe both parties are corrupt. What would you say to the significant population of non-voters? And if elected, how will you hold politicians accountable for offenses against the people instead of protecting them?
So in this instance, the question, you have 90 seconds to answer, and we begin with Dr. Holness.
Corruption is a serious problem in our country, and corruption requires strong leadership. From my position as Prime Minister, I have taken action against any member of my political party that has been involved or accused of anything that suggests corruption. In my own case, I have been investigated for a year with an expert forensic auditor. The findings of that report have suggested no corruption. There have been no charges. Every aspect of my report, every aspect of my personal life and my personal financial details are in the public domain. I am the politician about which Jamaica knows the most. And therefore, I am the politician who can stand with the greatest moral authority to treat with any matter that is considered corrupt, as I have done in the past. And I want to give this assurance to the Jamaican people that you know me, you know about me, you can trust me, and you know that I stand against corruption.
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond to that social media question as well.
Andrew, what they know about you is that you have 28 bank accounts, that you received several $1 million in cash deposits from anonymous donors in your bank account, that your companies had transactions of over $400 million, several thousand transactions between them, and that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit which you are intimately connected with, provided resources which you use for personal investments through your personal company. We have signed the Leadership Code of Conduct developed by Integrity Commission. All of our spokespersons and myself have signed. None of your people have signed it. I am committed to ensuring that all members of the executive, when we form government, will have their Integrity Commission declarations published, not just the leader of the opposition and what should happen, but hasn't happened in your case because you're not certified, the Prime Minister. So the whole question that has been asked is an excellent question. And we really need to step up our vigilance against corrupt behavior, nepotism and cronyism. The volume of scandals under this Jamaica Labour Party government is unprecedented. Over the number of ministers who have had to be removed from frontline duty, many of them parked in the naughty corner in OPM rather than being sacked. It is a disgrace to the country, and your personal situation where you're operating under a deep cloud because your Integrity Commission declarations are not certified also is something which Jamaica cannot go forward with.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Perspective, and I'm your host, Perry Cummings Jr. Please remember to like up the live, subscribe if you're watching, share the platform with a friend. We're growing. We're on the steady road to 10,000 subscribers. Will definitely be a milestone for us here on The Perspective. Couldn't have done it without the Lord and my viewers so far. You know, on this extended program today, Clarion Call, I want to reveal to you why the Jamaica Labour Party simply cannot be trusted. I've always questioned the JLP as to what they stand for. You recognize that when you ask a PNP supporter why they support the PNP, we can go on to list out a plethora of different initiatives and policies that oftentimes benefits the poor or the working class. If you should ask a Labourite or a supporter of the JLP why they support the JLP, you really don't get a comprehensive response. Nowadays, all you hear about is just prosperity this and prosperity that. 1 p.m. shower labor. You don't really hear why they support the Jamaica Labour Party. Did some reading, did some research, and I've always questioned the genesis of the Jamaica Labour Party because I've heard bits and pieces of their history. But after doing a deep dive in the JLP, I wanted to share this bit of information with some of my viewers for those who don't know. And we want to talk about the Keep the PNP in Check mandate. During the 1930s and the 1940s, my Perspective family, the British colonial government at the time, remember that there wasn't any independent, there was the independence, right? And there was no Jamaican-based political movement that was in power at the time. So what we had back then was the British colonial government that ran Jamaica. We were still under the colonial ruling. It's very important for us to understand that. So there was no PNP, there was no JLP, there was no Jamaican government. There was the British colonial government that was running Jamaica. Must understand that. So under the British colonial government, they feared the rising influence of the democratic socialism spearheaded by Norman Manley and the People's National Party that was formed in 1938. In 1942, the British colonial authorities released Bustamante from Up Park Camp Detention Center, where he had been imprisoned for subversive labor activism under the Defense of the Realm Act. The British viewed Bustamante's capitalism, because what we must understand is the ideology of the Jamaica Labour Party. One may ask, Perry, what is capitalism? I'm going to take my time. Capitalism is an economic system where private individuals or businesses own the means of production. What are the means of production, Clarion call? When you talk about factories, land, tools, resources, all of that is owned by private people. Normally, those from the upper echelons of society. So the resources, prices, and the distribution of goods under capitalism are determined primarily by competition in a free market driven by the motive to generate profit, which oftentimes is decided by the rich and few. Are you following me, ladies and gentlemen? This is the ideology of the Jamaica Labour Party. The resources is controlled by the rich and the powerful and the very few percent. They own the factories, they own the lands. It shouldn't be for everybody. A free market, but the players are the rich and the powerful. The British colonial government had a problem with the PNP and Norman Manley because their ideologies were not in favor of the capitalists. So what did the British colonial government did? They viewed Bustamante as capitalism friendly, and he stands as a safe alternative to the left-wing elements of the nationalist movement. His subsequent establishment of the JLP in 1943 was subtly encouraged by British administrators to absorb the newly enfranchised working class vote without upending the economic status quo. In other words, the JLP, Bustamante, they were backed and endorsed by our former colonial oppressors. They were backed and supported by our former colonial rule. Adoption and the colonial and security apparatus, preserving the system. This is what the JLP did. Once the JLP won the historic 1944 elections under universal adult suffrage, Bustamante effectively transitioned from a rebel labor leader into an administrator of the British colonial apparatus. And rather than dismantling the oppressive colonial police state, let me read that again. Rather than dismantling, rather than destroying, rather than ending the oppressive colonial rule that our forefathers had to endure, the colonial police state, the militarization of Jamaica that happened under the British colonial rule, rather than ending that, what the forefather, the man himself of the JLP, what he did, ladies and gentlemen, the JLP administration repeatedly weaponized British security forces, laws, and emergency powers to quell internal dissent. So the militarization of Jamaica that we're seeing now under the Andrew Holness JLP administration is nothing new. Alexander Bustamante did the same thing by creating alliances with our colonial oppressors in the past, mobilizing security forces, emergency powers, the amount of state of emergencies we saw under Andrew Holness. The playbook existed before. And what did they use these powers to do? They use it to quell the internal conflicts. So when you have the advocates speaking up, they call on the security forces to quiet them, to intimidate them, to drive fear in them. Listen to me, I'm going to say this. The extrajudicial killings that we are seeing under the Andrew Holness administration today, it is intentional and it is backed by the state of our country. It is backed by the administration. Don't listen to the PR from the Prime Minister now. That is the reason why it took him 8 days to come out and address Latoya Bulgin's murder. Because all of what is happening, it is a part of the playbook. Use the military to oppress the people. Use the military to drive fear in them. Use the military to oppose the ideologies of the People's National Party. That was the only reason why the Jamaica Labour Party was formed. The mandate was to keep the PNP in check. Keep the PNP in check. Because the PNP's ideology is about liberating the poor, equipping the poor, educating the poor. Under the Jamaica Labour Party ideology, that shouldn't be for the poor. That should be for the private individuals and the business owners, the rich and the powerful, the plantation owners, the capitalists. But the PNP wanted to bridge the gap. And because in bridging the gap, all of we as poor people could get a piece of the pie, the British colonial government called upon the pawn, because that is what Alexander Bustamante was. He was a pawn of the British to fight against the democratic socialism of the People's National Party. And you ask me why I don't support JLP. Huh? This collaboration, the collaboration between the JLP's Alexander Bustamante and England at the time, culminated the state-directed violence against alternative social movements such as the 1954 raid on the Rastafarian community at Pinnacle and the 1963 Coral Gardens massacre, where the newly independent JLP state operated with the same scorched earth tactics utilized by previous British governors. It is the playbook of the JLP that was gifted to them by our colonial masters. It is the same way the plantation slave owners would force the slaves into silence when they tried to rebel against the oppression. The playbook that the JLP is using today to use the JCF to silence the protesters, to silence Latoya Bulgin, to silence Marvin Edgar, to silence Perry in Christ, to silence PDTV, to silence Rattigan, to silence the common man and the common woman who would cry out for what is right on behalf of the poor. It is not a JLP playbook. It is a colonial playbook that was gifted to them. So this is modern day slavery. This is modern day slavery. So when I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that we are on a plantation and this is a plantation society, is because the JLP learned every single thing that they know today, from winning elections to oppressing the poor to militarizing Jamaica, from our own oppressors of our colonial past. And that's when we had Alexander Bustamante killing out the Rastas up by Pinnacle, the Coral Gardens massacre. How else do we know that the JLP was always for the colonial powers? Remember the West Indies Federation exit, In 1961, the JLP campaigned aggressively for Jamaica to withdraw from the West Indies Federation. The JLP's conservative leadership feared that a regional federation would tilt toward Caribbean socialism. Again, the only reason why the JLP was formed was to fight against the ideologies of socialism. It was only to fight against the PNP. And I went through the history with you. By choosing to exit the federation and to pursue a standalone independence in 1962, the JLP explicitly maintained Jamaica's direct constitutional ties to the British monarchy. Bustamante accepted the British knighthood in 1955 and proudly declared Jamaica's foreign policy to be unapologetically aligned with Western powers. Oh, no wonder Edward Seaga had to fight against Michael Manley when we were trying to create allies with Cuba. Because Bustamante was declared a knight by England in 1955. Our former colonial powers who beat and murdered and cut off the limbs of our forefathers, our foremothers. Our same colonial oppressors that brought us through a disgraceful and inhumane and animalistic time. So much so that we had to run away to the mountains. That is who Bustamante aligned himself with. And even to this day, we see the Jamaica Labour Party still aligning themselves with the United States of America. So when I say history is repeating itself, I want to take my time and tell you why I say these things. Unlike radical anti-colonial movements that demanded a total restructuring of land ownership, listen to this. The JLP championed a market economy model predicated on the cooperation between labor and capital. Critics and political historians frequently point out that the JLP's early policies protected the interests of Jamaica's traditional planter class and merchant oligarchies. By choosing to not reform colonial laws regarding class hierarchy, property rights, and social status, the early JLP administration preserved the structural inequalities inherited from the British Empire. Can you trust the Jamaica Labour Party? If you don't know your history, how can you know where it is that we should go? This is the political party that has held on to the colonial ideologies, that has held on to the colonial structures. No wonder Juliet Holness barked at Dr. Angela Brown Burke for touching the mace that is also a relic of our colonial past, because the Jamaica Labour Party is an agent of England working in Jamaica against the poor people, those who should be freed from slavery. Is it making sense? Is it making sense to you now, ladies and gentlemen? No wonder the NHT is not something that the Labourites are fond of, because the NHT seeks to give an opportunity to the poor to own. But that should be reserved for the private individuals, the business owners, the oligarchs, the merchant class. The plantation system must be in full effect. Because for the Jamaica Labour Party, they have sided with the British, the colonialism, and under that regime, poor people shouldn't earn anything. I don't have much time, but as I bring the curtains down, I want persons to fully understand that what we are experiencing today with the militarization of Jamaica under this JLP government, it is coming from way back from the British colonial government that handpicked Bustamante to be their pawn to fight against the ideologies of socialism that would have benefited the working class, the poor of this country. It was through the early JLP administration that they mobilized joint operations through the military and the police force to raid down havoc on Jamaicans because they were willing to speak up and to speak out. It is the same thing that we are experiencing today. Sir C, now it's Andrew Holness' time to continue this legacy of the Jamaica Labour Party. Let us pray. Father, we give you thanks for your mercies. We give you thanks for revelations. We give you thanks for the opportunity to have these meaningful discussions about what is affecting our country today. Lord, certainly something is seriously wrong in our country. And Lord, when we take up the books, when we read through our notes, we recognize that history has a way of repeating itself. But the history that you're experiencing now, it's nothing good, because it resembles too much of what our forefathers fought to rid themselves of. the oppression, the silence, the murder, capitalism, these things that sought to keep the poor poorer and the rich richer. We reject it. Lord, who can we turn to? So many of them are compromised. We look to you, the author and the finisher of our faith, and we're saying, Lord, have your way in Jamaica. Break up the folly grounds. Destroy the works of the wicked one. We know we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers of darkness. And we know that there are evil forces working behind the scenes. But Lord, we plead the blood, the effective blood that you shed on Calvary, to be applied all over Jamaica, even in Garden House, down to the very speakers of the house's seat. The blood must be applied there, so that when she sits in that seat, she understands that there is a call for her to be balanced in her approach. Let there be an uneasiness in the House of Parliament. Let your angels walk up and down in Garden House even today, as they gear up to return to Parliament. Let your Holy Spirit rest in Garden House, and every behavior that is untoward, that is anti-Christ, every behavior that will seek to create confusion, whether it's coming from the government side or the opposition side, we demand order and decency, because they are there on behalf of the people. And we're demanding better leadership, and we're demanding that the people be liberated, because better can come. We can experience a better Jamaica. We don't have to accept corruption as the order of the day. Touch the viewers and keep us as we look to you and tell you thanks. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you. God bless you. We'll have no show this evening. That's why we went 2 hours instead of our regular 1 hour. But I hope you learned something today that can add more quality to your discourse when you engage persons as to why you support the PNP over the JLP. Our reasons as comrades, they are rooted in facts. They are rooted in historical revelations that the JLP would not want us to know about. But all of this information is out there for the public to engage. We will not be in the dark for too very long. We will walk towards the light and make it very clear that while no political organization is perfect, when we look at PNP versus JLP, one made mistakes along the way, but the other was a mistake from the very inception. One may have meddled in corruption along the way, but the other was built on corruption. One may have had corrupt leaders within its organization along the way, but one was appointed a corrupt leader to lead from the very genesis of its establishment. And that's the difference. That's the difference. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. See you tomorrow at 3 p.m. for Clarion Call, and at 6 p.m. for our evening program. Continue to like the live. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Lightning and thunder for the JLP. Oh. Corruption in the nation. sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them mashing the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. Now war fit the youth, them prosper only fit them pocket. I beg is hamping. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them machine the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. Now war fit the youth, them prosper only fit them pocket. I beg you stop it. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them mashing the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. No war fit the youth, them prosper only fit them pocket. I beg you stop it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Well,